Today I want to talk about productivity mistakes, or in other words, some unproductive things that we don't need to fix in order to achieve our goals. First things first, probably the most common productivity mistake people make, and I used to make it as well, is ignoring your body signals to take a step back and recharge. If you watch some of my other videos, then you must be fed up with me talking about sleep and rest, but it is indeed very important to have sufficient time for sleep and have enough time to rest. I sort of understand where this whole idea of working non-stop is coming from. We are very much bombarded with content about people being super productive and doing 10 different things at the same time and having 10 different side hustles. And it influences our perspective, first of all, of ourselves, of our own energy levels, and also of what is necessary or what is enough to be even considered as productive or successful. But let me break it to you. If we take some of these well-being gurus with an established brand online, then they usually have at least an assistant that will help organize their time, but more often than not, they will have a whole team of people who support them. They will have people like a video editor, a social media manager, maybe even a content writer. And if you compare this setup with the setup of an average person with a 9-to-5 job and a never-ending list of chores, and on top of that a side hustle, you must notice that the amount of resources is not very much equal. So you should not compare yourself to a person who, first of all, has way more free time, and second, who can hire people to help them get the job done. And another thing, the level of energy is very personal. Some people are quite sensitive, so they get triggered easier by things in the environment like sounds, noises, what else there is, light, and so on and so forth. Some people have chronic illnesses that prevent them from being productive and proactive all the time. And it's fine. You don't have to be energetic 24/7 in order to appear successful or achieve your goals. Let me tell you a story that should make you feel a bit better about how much you do or how much is enough. So I have a chronic illness. I've had it my entire life, and although I'm right now on medication, I still appear lazier compared to a person who doesn't have this chronic illness. So I need more sleep, way more sleep than the average person, and I also get tired faster than the average person. I used to be in denial about this. The results were never worth it. After a week or two of powering through, my immune response would get so compromised that I would either get a flu, a burnout, or some other strange disease I would have to deal with for the next 1 to 2 months. I used to be quite angry at myself for this, and I would beat myself up for not being healthy and not being able to continue working on my projects. And it took me many years before I consciously decided to slow down and take things easier. And guess what? Not working the whole day and not putting all of my energy into my projects allowed me to maintain a certain pace for a prolonged period of time, which actually resulted in achieving some tangible results much faster than I used to do. So while I'm not suggesting you to give up on your goals altogether, try and assess your workload critically. How much of it is self-imposed and doesn't have to belong to your to-do list anymore? How much of it can be outsourced, or how much energy you can save by optimizing some of your work processes or leveraging some tools for better and faster results? And also, I'm going to repeat myself, but rest is important. Sleep is important. Never ever try to sacrifice your sleep, whatever the reason might be. You're risking impaired cognitive functions Or the worst case scenario, getting some neurological diseases like Alzheimer. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So make your sleep your priority, and on top of that, get enough time to rest and recharge during the day. 1 to 2 hours per day. If you are just like me and you struggle with being productive all the time, 1 to 2 hours per day should give you ample time to recharge your battery and get ready for the next day. Another productivity mistake that we all make is considering our preferences an obstacle. And I mean preferences here in terms of choosing productivity systems or certain tools. With the rise of well-being content, a lot of things became more accessible, which is good, I believe, because not everybody can go to therapy and not everybody can work with a business coach. So it's great that we all can access these easily digestible content that we can apply in our own life and see immediate results. But at the same time, this accessibility came with a shadow side. Some productivity systems and tools gained a lot of popularity, a lot of traction, and by that, they became a default. But the truth is, people are unique. Of course, we all have more or less the same morphology because we are all of the same species. So if we're talking about some universal needs or universal well-being questions, then the answer will always be the same. But when it comes to productivity or managing our workload, that's where our background, our character, our natural inclinations will define what works and what doesn't work for us. So if you've been using a certain framework for a while and it hasn't brought you any results, today is your day to give it up. For example, I don't do journaling. I have the journaling hashtag in my notes app, and I have a journaling section in my notepad, but I don't use it for journaling. I use it to write down grocery lists, I use it to track my workload, and also to leave some notes for myself. What I use to channel my thoughts, emotions, and ideas is talking to myself. So what I do, I go for a walk, and during this walk, I just talk to myself. And this helps me 10 times better than any journaling ever would. Of course, I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing this exercise or trying to say that journaling is bad. It is not, but it is a very personal tool, and it will depend quite a lot on you and your needs, whether this tool works for you or not. Look at what you're using right now and divide all your tools and systems into 3 groups. The first one works well, brings a lot of results. The second one is the gray area. Maybe sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't work for me. Not sure also goes there. And then the third category is doesn't work for me anymore or has never brought me any results. So the latter, we are giving up altogether. We don't need these tools. They are not giving us anything. We can actually make some space by letting them go. The second group will require your time and attention, because some of these tools might migrate into group 3 and then you'll have to say bye-bye to them, but some of them might come back to group 1 and then you don't have to do anything about them. And then the first group, you just don't touch it. That's something that works well for you, and you just make sure that none of these tools migrate into group 2 or group 3. The good news is that we usually already have some intuitive understanding of what works well for us. So use your gut instinct to help you navigate around all these different tools and systems and help you organize your tool stack well. The next one came to me as a funny insight from conversations with my friends. Whenever I would ask them about their day or their week, they would tell me that, oh well, first I have this job of mine I need to take care of, and then I commute back home, and then I need some time to procrastinate, and then I go to bed. Trust me, I use the same structure when talking about my life. Until one day it hit me that what I was calling procrastination and what my friends were calling procrastination was not procrastination, but actually free time. Free time has it in its name that it's free and you can use it for whatever the heck you want. I hope you understand my confusion. But somehow the idea of being productive all the time is so indoctrinated in us that we're even viewing our free time, the time that we can use for ourselves, as something bad. We've all been there. As soon as we get at least some time off, we come up with yet another project. We're gonna renovate our apartment. We're gonna clean the whole thing. We're gonna read 50 books. We're gonna learn another language. Or, even better, we turn our hobby into a self-development project. Let's say you like reading, but then one day, God forbid, you discover the benefits of reading on your cognitive skills and other skills as well, decision-making process, your vocabulary, and so on and so forth. And then you come up with a plan. You're gonna read every day for an hour, and you're gonna get so much wisdom out of it, and you're gonna read more than 52 books in a year, and then you will be the smartest person in the room, you will build your own business, and well, you know how that goes. And then, after a few weeks of such reading, you feel productive, you feel great about yourself because you're sticking to your own plan. But after a couple of months of such reading, you notice that you don't have any room for hobby in your schedule anymore, and what used to be your hobby is now part of your big self-development project. The end result is honestly rather tragic. You stop reading altogether because what used to bring you a lot of joy is now the source of a never-ending hate. And it's not that the books were bad or that there is anything wrong with self-development, but as soon as you started labeling this hobby of yours as part of your productivity journey or work, you notice that there is less and less time for you and your hobby, and there is only work. And when one sphere of life starts domineering over the others, it never leads to anything good. There is this beautiful model of health. I hope I can list it somewhere here or show the picture in the video. And it talks about how we need basically different things in our life to be truly healthy. So it talks about the importance of meaningful work, it talks about the importance of connections with other people, with nature, it talks about having hobbies in addition to living a healthy life. And it is beautiful exactly because it underlines that we, as people, as humans, need all these different experiences in order to live a healthy, happy life. We need to engage in all these different spheres of life. Of course, the proportion of them within our own will differ, but it can certainly be said that you can't ditch any one of them altogether. Finally, and probably the most controversial part of this video, let's talk about emotions. Whichever theory about emotions you prefer, whether you think that our emotions have developed as an extension to our survival instincts, or you believe that our emotions have a certain social component to them, both parties can agree that we're meant to have them. If the feelings of anger, sadness, fear, disgust, and so on and so forth were as bad as some people believe them to be, the evolution would have spared us from feeling all these emotions. So the mere fact of us being able to experience these feelings means that they're part of our life. So denying yourself any emotions when you're dealing with, for example, the loss of a loved one, will only result in a delayed grief, meaning you will still have to process it, and until you do so, it will keep affecting your routine. Of course, we're not talking about giving up on your life altogether, But it's totally okay if your schedule takes a hit because life happens and it forces you to face certain things. Just remember to listen to yourself and deal with your feelings case by case. There are absolutely no two identical experiences in our life. One day you might be dealing with a lot of grief, and that might require from you taking a sick leave to process your emotions better. And the other day, you might simply be having an argument with your partner, and the only side effect of it might be some minor delays in your projects. In any case, it's always good to treat your plans for what they are. Meaning plans. Flexible structures that might be or will be adjusted. So if you need to schedule some time for being with yourself, processing your emotions, or if you need to postpone certain tasks or projects, it's okay. You really don't have to beat yourself up for dealing with whatever life throws at you. And this is it. If you like this video, consider subscribing to this channel for more similar content. And if you didn't, then you've probably already clicked away. In any case, I hope you found this video useful, and as always, take it easy, take good care, and bye bye.